Hi everybody, thank you for joining me. This is serious. Turkey, Erdogan warns Putin not to play with fire. A lot of you have forgotten about the missile defense system that NATO put in there and Russia was all up in arms about. We have a lot more going on than just shooting down of one lone fighter jet. Russia annexed Ukraine. The oil that goes to Europe goes through Ukraine. Russia made plans to put the pipeline through Turkey and then on to Europe. Sure, Turkey would probably take some of the oil without paying for it, but Russia figured they were going to kill two birds with one stone. One, the problem of the oil going through Ukraine to Europe, and two, the NATO missile defense system, which Russia sees as a threat to Russia, a major threat. Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan warned Russia not to play with fire on Friday, but added he did not want to harm relations with Moscow. Comments that look more like to inflame than quell the dispute over the downed Russian bomber this week. Some of Putin's men are saying it was all pre-planned. Now, when Obama was re-elected as President of the United States, the first person that he called was Erdogan. That shows you, or it should show you, the closeness Erdogan has with Obama. Russian Defense Minister, meanwhile, said it had suspended all cooperation with the Turkish military, including a hotline set up to share information on Russian airstrikes in Syria. The TASS news agency reported. Relations between the former Cold War antagonists are at their worst in recent memory, after Turkey shot down the jet near the Syrian border on Monday. Russia has threatened economic retaliation against Ankara, which Erdogan has dismissed as emotional and unfitting. Earlier, Russian Prime Minister Dmitry Medvedev ordered his government to draw up measures that would include freezing some joint investment projects, that's the oil pipeline, and restricting food imports from Turkey. 39 businessmen were arrested and deported from Moscow the other day. Economy ministers said Moscow would put limits on flights to and from Turkey. Actually, I think there's no flights from Turkey going to Russia, and there's no flights from Russia going to Turkey right now. Halt preparations for a joint free trade zone, and restrict high-profile projects including the Turkstream gas pipeline and a 20 billion nuclear power plant Russia is building in Turkey. We have all these sanctions that are currently put against Russia, one because of Ukraine and two because of the downing of that airliner in Ukraine. There's a lot of things building up against Russia right now. Russia thought that they would bypass that with these agreements with Turkey, and now that's just, as Putin said, he's got stabbed in the back. We very sincerely recommend to Russia not to play with fire, Erdogan told supporters during a speech in Bayburt in northeastern Turkey. We really attach a lot of importance to our relationships with Russia. We don't want these relations to suffer harm in any way. Erdogan said he may speak with Russian President Vladimir Putin at a climate summit in Paris next week, a discussion that would be welcomed by the United States and EU, both of which fear the spat has distracted from the battle against Islamic State militants in Syria. Erdogan said the Russian jet was shot down as an automatic reaction to the violation of Turkish airspace, in line with standing orders given to the military. Those instructions were a separate issue to disagreements with Russia over Syria policy, he said, adding Ankara will continue to support moderate rebels in Syria and Turkmen fighters battling President Assad forces. Russia yesterday bombed 20 trucks that were supposedly bringing aid building materials into Syria. Well, like I said, why would you be rebuilding in an area where there's war? Putin has so far refused to contact Erdogan because Ankara does not want to apologize for the downing of the jet, Putin aide said on Friday. Erdogan said Turkey downed the jet as a result of what he called the automatic enforcement of rules of engagement. Russia's lower house speaker said on Friday that Moscow had the right to make a military response, calling the incident an international murder of our soldiers. Russian forces have shown no sign of backing down, launching a heavy bombardment against insurgent-held areas in Latakia on Wednesday, near where the jet crashed. A Reuters correspondent on the Turkish side of the border saw rockets and tank shells being fired from